My dad found out how much I make, so he showed up with my sister and demanded I give her my 5-bedroom house because she's pregnant. He walked right in without knocking. Didn't even use the doorbell I just installed. My sister Ash stood behind him in a designer maternity dress, hand on her barely showing belly, smirking like she'd already won. Dad looked around my living room like he was doing a property appraisal and said, "Pack your things. She needs this place more than you." I'd bought this house 3 months ago, saved for 6 years, worked 80-hour weeks at a job that aged me faster than it should have, skipped vacations, ate ramen more nights than I want to admit, finally got promoted to senior project manager and made the down payment. Dad wasn't at the housewarming party, didn't even text congratulations, but somehow he knew exactly how much my promotion paid down to the dollar. He sat on my leather couch without being invited and said, "Family takes care of family." Rich coming from the man who shipped me to boarding school at 8 because his new wife Marissa didn't want to raise another woman's kid. I asked him where this energy was when Mom died in that car accident, and he looked at me like I was inconveniencing him just by existing. Ash walked around touching my stuff, picking up picture frames, opening cabinets. She said something about how the nursery could go in the guest room, and maybe she'd repaint the walls yellow. Dad pulled out his phone, showing me listings for studio apartments nearby. Said I could afford one of those easy with my salary. After all, I was single with no responsibilities. Ash needed space for the baby, and the father walked out, so she had nowhere to go. I felt my blood pressure rising, but I stayed calm. Asked him why he thought I owed her anything. He said, "Because we're blood, and I was being selfish, keeping this big house to myself when she's about to be a single mother." Ash pulled out her phone, showing me ultrasound photos dated 3 weeks ago. Dad said she was 4 months along and struggling, that I needed to step up and be the man he raised me to be. I almost laughed out loud. He didn't raise me. Boarding school raised me, then college roommates, then my first boss who actually gave a damn, then myself. But then I remembered something. 3 weeks ago, I got a message on LinkedIn from someone named Brian. Said he was Ash's ex-boyfriend and needed to talk urgently. We met at a coffee shop and he looked destroyed. He told me Ash claimed the baby was his, demanded child support, but something felt off about the timeline. So he paid $200 for a private DNA test using her discarded coffee cup and cigarette butt. The baby wasn't his, but Brian didn't stop there. He was angry enough to dig deeper. He knew Ash had been weirdly close to Dad, coming home late from dinners alone with him, taking weekend trips together without Marissa, so he ran another test. I'd kept a folder in my desk drawer, didn't know what to do with it. Part of me hoped I'd never need it. I walked to my home office while Dad kept talking about family obligations and how Mom would have wanted this. Came back with my laptop and the printed results Brian had given me. I sat down across from both of them. Dad was mid-sentence about how I should be grateful he's even asking nicely instead of just moving them in. I opened the laptop and turned the screen toward him. His face went from angry to confused to absolutely white in about 5 seconds. Ash stopped scrolling on her phone. The DNA results were clear. Brian wasn't the father, but the DNA showed a 99.97% match to another sample. A sample Brian had collected from Dad's coffee mug when he visited Ash's apartment. I looked at Dad and said, "You're sitting here demanding I give up my house for your daughter, but the baby she's carrying isn't your grandchild. It's your child." Ash's face went bright red. She started stammering something about the test being fake and Brian being crazy. Then she just stopped talking entirely and sat down on my couch, hands on her belly, staring at nothing. Dad started pacing, running his hands through his hair, muttering about how this couldn't be happening. After a full minute of silence, Ash looked up at me with completely dry eyes and asked in this flat voice when I planned to tell Marissa. Full story on channel linked below.